Good morning, guys. Well, I've been asked a couple of questions about my cutting boards and how I take care of them. So I'd start off with this one. I was having a look around on the Facebook market page and I found this end grain cutting board. And it's got a bit of damage. There's a crack in there, if you can see that. So I thought I would start with repairing this one. But what I'm going to have to do first is open that crack up a little bit so I can get some wood glue in there. So I'm just going to get a couple of pieces of lumber and the clamp. Close that on there. And then we'll just nip that shut. I'm only doing this because when I wedge it open, I don't want it to split the whole board apart, as it were. So we'll lift that up a little bit, let that sit, and then you want something long and thin, like a little pry bar. Put that inside, and we'll just wedge that open. Something like that should do for now. So I'll lay that down, and I've got some wood glue. I mean, this one's a carpenter's glue. It's high tack, it's strong, it's good for inside and outside. Hopefully I can open it. Dang it. So I've got some wood glue here. It's a Lepage. This is a Pro carpenter's glue. It's good indoors, outdoors. So what I'm going to do is pretty much just squeeze it along here, and I've got a small zip tie here that'll just fit nicely into that hole. I'm just going to try and force it down inside. Just try and get as much in there as possible. We can give it a little bit more. You can use another product which is like super glue with it's Starbond, I think it was called, if I remember rightly. It's been a while since I've used it. So we'll get that one in, and then we'll flip that over, and we'll do the same to the other side. So as I said there, we're just going to push it in. On the smaller bits, we'll just keep trying to force glue inside of there. Give it another squeeze. For a lot of these jobs, your fingers are the best tool. And then we can get our small zip tie again and try and get that glue pushed down inside. Gravity helps. As you'll see in a moment when I take out this zip tie, this bar, this will come back together and start pushing the glue back out again. So as long as we have that glue squeeze out, we know we're doing a good job. Sorry about camera angle here, but I don't have a workshop anymore to do this. I'm working in my kitchen. So I guess my kitchen is my workshop, my kitchen, everything. It's my home office. But again, as long as we can get this glue inside, that's what's important. See, they're already kind of squeezing through. Now, a split like this in these boards normally happens because people don't take enough time to do things, and they decide that they're going to put things like this in a dishwasher, or they're going to leave it in a sink full of water. But this is a $120 board, and I paid 10 bucks for it on the marketplace. So I'm putting the clamp this way, so I even everything off. Then I'll lay this back down. I'll take this clamp back off. And this is a tricky bit. and we're going to get this clamped together on the end. I'm using blocks of wood on here because I don't want to damage the cutting board, and the cutting board also has a finger groove all the way through, as you can probably see there. So all I'm looking for now is to just nip that together. We do not want to tighten it too much. And that should be ample. We'll just check our joint here. Yep, if you can see there, that is pulled up nice and tight. So I'm just going to get a bit of wet tissue and clean off the excess glue. Doesn't want to be dripping wet. We just want to be able to clean that up a little bit. It's easier for when I come to sand it down later. That's all we need. Keep it simple. And I'll put that to one side in a warm place to dry off. So, cutting boards care part 2. So this is my cutting board that you normally see me using most of the time. And it's due another clean up and an oil, just so it lasts longer. These I made myself, or I did at least when I had a workshop. So they're a nice board. It's cherry. What have we got in here? We've got cherry, we've got Purple Heart, walnut, and a little bit of oak I think I've got there, but I don't normally put oak in them. Oak is not the best for cutting boards. But basically what I'll be doing today is just giving it a light sand over to get some of them imperfections out, the knife marks, clean up the surface, and then we'll clean it off, let it dry, and then oil it up. So if you have one, use an electric sander. It's really quick. I can attach a vacuum to mine or just leave the dust bag, it's not too bad. But you don't want anything more than the 220. Even the 320 would probably be enough just to clean up. And we just put that straight on. Well, I would if I could line it up straight. So like that. If you don't have that, have a piece of sandpaper. 220 again. You want clean, unused stuff. You don't want to contaminate the board with anything else. But as a little tip, what I will show you is how we fold sandpaper as a carpenter. And I know this probably sounds a little bit stupid, but there is a particular way. So we fold in half in one direction, and then we'll fold in half again the second direction. Now, some people might think, oh, I've just done this and I'm going to fold it this way. No, this doesn't work like that. So you can have maximum use of all of your pieces. On one of these short axes, we get ourselves a knife, and we will just split to that point. That's all. Then we can fold one in, fold the next one in, fold the next one. That sheet for sanding, we can do what we want. You can turn over, do the other side. You can flick them out, turn it around, and do a nice even job of doing all your pieces. That is the correct carpenter's way for doing sandpaper. Now if you need to, you can use a block. These become 4 separate pieces and we wrap around a block. But for my purpose, I'm just going to do a quick demonstration. Basically, we're just going to use our sander. Now I would do this outside, but it's still about -9 at the moment. So, and I'm not dressed for that. I'm just getting over a cold and I ain't going outside. And to be honest, that is all it takes for that one. Now for the edges, I will use my sanding sheet. and we're just cleaning this around. Make sure there's no spots. Nice and simple. And then we're just going to get our sandpaper, we will fold it into a crescent, and we'll go inside our juice groove and clean that out. As you can see, there's plenty coming out of this, and that's the old oils. Nice and simple, just take your time. You can fold that further up if you wish. If you try and keep the new sandpaper on the go, it'll go through a lot faster. And then just to top off, just run the sandpaper through that top edge, just in case we've created a sharp edge. Just have a check over, just make sure you're somewhere near where you want to be. You can finish it off with a white sand. And that should be absolutely fantastic now. So before we do our oil finish, get a damp cloth and we're just going to wipe the whole board down. And I mean damp. We do not want this flowing in water, because as I showed you with my other board, that one was almost ruined because of that purpose. So say things you should never do with a wooden cutting board. We do not put them in the dishwasher. We do not leave things at a really hot pan, anything like that, on top. And we do not leave them on a hot surface because they will catch fire. It might seem like common sense, but sometimes the common sense isn't there. So now we've got that, we'll put that to one side to dry off, give it a good couple of hours, and then we'll come on to our oil finish for that one. Well, let's get back to it. So I glued up my board, as you can probably see here. It's not the best joint, it's a slight lip in there. So I'm going to go about this as I normally would, just for cleaning up, as if I was making a new board. So I'm going to put some paper, put my glasses on so I can see better. I'm going to put some paper on. This is an 80 grit first. If I can line it up properly. Somewhere there should do. And I'm just going to quickly go over the edges. Kind of looks like somebody's already tried to do it. So I'm not too sure, we'll see how it goes. Just a quick blast with 80 grit, goes through quick enough. We'll have a try on these. They have been used quite a bit. It does look like there's not been a lot of finish on these over the time they've been used, so it is quite oily already. But that's why I've done the edges first, and we'll do 80 grit again. Check out paper. Now look how filled up that is now because of the oil. So I'm going to have to change that one over. I'll go and get some more 80 grit. So as normal when I'm doing things like this, sometimes you find that you're out of sandpaper. So I just had a quick run down to Home Hardware and I found this little bundle here. Basically got 10 sheets of each of 60, 80, 120 and 240. Only $14, so I can't really complain. I've got my sheet back on and we will continue. It's probably going to take 2 or 3 sheets just to get this nice. already. But that'll do for that side. I'm going to turn over now and we'll start cleaning off the other side. I'm going to use this for a little bit longer, see what I can get out of it. Over. And we'll go to our 120 grit. I'll do the edges first again. That way I know I'm getting the most out of my paper because there's no oil or fats on here. It's feeling good so far. $2.20 now, and I'll start on our edges again. I'm also taking off the sharp edge. And don't throw away your sanding sheets. I don't have mine with me at the moment, but there's a rubber block you can buy. Just let your sander up and you can clean them sheets off again to reuse. I should have had one and it would have saved all the swapping over. Needs. So clean up time, get rid of all the dust, give them a wipe down, let them dry off, and then I can coat this with oil. So this has now been wiped off, got the dust off it, and it's time for a little bit of oil. So I'm going to use the Saman Classic Butcher Block oil. I find this one works well enough. I used to make my own with beeswax and linseed oil. Was it linseed oil? Can't remember now, but it made my own board butter. But where I live, it's difficult to get beeswax. Now it says to put it on with a cloth, but I don't like to waste it by letting it soak up in the cloth. So I just use a rubber glove and I rub it on by hand. If you want to make it spread out a little bit more, you can. I'll grab one of these to show you. These cheap inexpensive squeegees. You can actually spread it over the top. That way you're not wasting anything. Anything that goes down the sides, don't worry about that one, because we've got to do all the sides as well. Put this to one side again. Using the squeegee does seem to help, but we want to do 2 coats of this. It is quite sticky at the moment, but we do need to apply 2 coats for definite. Just keep your eye on where you're working. Make sure all surfaces have got at least a little bit on top of there. You can use your squeegee again just to even it out. I'm just going to let that one soak in. Again, we're going to go through our edges. Don't need too much. As you can probably see there now, that looks way better than when I first started. It's almost looking like a new board now. And this is all it takes. This is your difference between looking after a board and not giving a damn. I know not everybody has got the time, but instead of sitting there watching TV one day, if you like to cook, you might as well look after the toys that you've got. Just a little bit more. Just run that right the way through. Like I say, make sure all edges get it. And please do not put these things in a sink full of water. Don't leave them outside in the rain. That will ruin them. Especially at end grain. End grain like to soak up. But this is looking like a nice board now. And to be honest, all this has cost me was the $10 to buy the board. A little bit of time and effort. And I went and bought some more sandpaper. And as I'm a carpenter, I use the sandpaper anyway. So that really doesn't come into it. So I'll put that to one side to dry off a bit before I do a second coat. But I do find this kind of therapeutic. That looks like something special. All the golden hues, the red coming out of the purple heart. I guess I could say it's the purple coming out of the purple heart. You can see this side's been used, well used. I've never used the other side yet, but still a beautiful board. And when I did used to sell these, people used to just buy them for display purposes. But no, that's a thing of beauty. Anyway, that'll do for now, guys. I'll get back to you soon when I get them finished off. Hey guys, well, a couple of days has gone by and I've let my cutting boards soak in all that oil. I've given them 3 coats and now they are looking beautiful. They still have a few battle scars. I didn't sand them down too much, no real need. But I'm just going to go in with a little bit of paper, towel, and we're just going to wipe off any excess. The important one is the one I repaired. I did have little rubber feet on this one, but I've taken them off. It sits down fine. Now, this is the one I repaired. I have actually wiped it down already and I used it last night. So there's a few fresh cuts on that one, just in the middle there. Now this is the joint. There's our joint that we repaired. You can see it right here. There is a slight line from the glue, but nothing major on that one. But compared to how that looked originally, as you can see, it's split. It's got a burn mark off a pan that's on both sides. It's never really had any finish on it, and it's absolutely covered in some sort of grease. Maybe that's lamb or beef, something like that. It's Beautiful, beautiful board now. I'll get many more years. And for $10 for $140 somewhere there for one of these boards new. It's not a Paderno one. It has no markings on there of who made it. So it could be homemade. Somebody local making these. Who knows? But that's looking pretty decent. And it'll do exactly what I want. It's a little bit of a twist in there, but nothing I can work around. Like I say, just give them a wipe down, make sure there's no excess oil. And then maybe it's once a month, just give it a wipe down, make sure it's clean. Do not put it in the dishwasher, do not put it in a sink full of water, just wipe down with a damp cloth, make sure there's nothing left on there, and then reapply the oil. I say I'm just using this one, which is a Saman butcher block oil. It's about $25 for a bottle like that, and to be honest it'll probably last you a couple of years. So you can get proper board butter if you wish, but whatever works for you and whatever you want to use, just give it a light coat over, leave it for a couple of days, and then basically you've got a nice safe to use butcher block again. So I can't really fault this one. $10. Let me know what you think. Please remember, like, share, leave me a comment, give me a big thumbs up, smash that button, just keep smashing it.